The world of Kaliran had always been a storm of iron dust and molten rivers. It was a realm where beings were shaped not by birth, but by forgafire. Among them stood Arkan, the last sentinel of the Iron Chorus. His body was formed from living alloy, his veins were channels of heated metal, and his heart was a core of radiant silver. For centuries he guarded the ruined city of Vorest, a monument of towers that gleamed with ancient mechanical light. Arkan knew neither sleep nor hunger. He existed to endure and to defend. Yet in all his long existence he had never understood fear. That changed on the day he sensed a presence approaching across the wastes. The presence was fragile, soft, and warm, in a way that no being of metal had ever been. A human. Her name was Lyra. She had survived the collapse of 3 outposts, the fall of her crew, and the shattering storms that ripped across the planet like bladed tempests. She carried with her only a fractured beacon, a knife crafted from orbital scrap, and a determination that refused to break. She had journeyed across the burning plains with dust stinging her skin and heat searing her lungs, all driven by a single message. Her dying commander had whispered, "Find Vorest. The sentinel within will decide the fate of 2 worlds." For days she had marched across cracked iron fields, where the horizon shimmered like liquid flame. Her boots were half melted and her suit long torn, but she kept walking, guided by faint traces of magnetic energy that pulsed from the ancient city. When she finally reached the towering gates, she fell to her knees, overwhelmed by exhaustion and awe. Before her stood Arkan the Sentinel, his massive frame carved from plated metal that glowed under the fading red sun. His eyes were twin rings of luminescent crystal, shifting like molten gold. His towering form cast a shadow that stretched across the scorched ground like a protective shield. Lyra lifted her head, struggling to stand. Arkan stepped forward, the metal of his body resonating with a low, gentle hum like the sound of a distant forge. His voice was not spoken with breath, but with waves of harmonic vibration that echoed in the air. "Who comes before the last?" Sentinel Lyra fought to keep her voice steady. "I am Lyra of the human expedition Soul Reach. My people are dying. We came here to find a way to survive. Our world is failing. Our ships are failing. Our hearts are failing. We seek help from the one they called the Guardian of Vora Sd. Rken gazed at her with stillness deeper than silence. Humans were rare on Kaliran. Most never survived the storms. Their bodies were too fragile, their forms too soft, their spirits too easily consumed by despair. Yet this one stood before him, trembling but unbroken. "You carry the weight of worlds," he said. "You have no idea," she whispered. Arkan turned, and the gates of Vorest opened with a sound like mountains shifting. The ancient machinery of the city awakened, lights flickering, pathways humming. Lyra followed him through the metallic corridors, her footsteps echoing in the hollow halls. The inner chamber of Vorest stretched like a cathedral of forgotten engineering. Pillars of alloy rose into the darkness, each etched with inscriptions older than any written human memory. Arkan stopped at the center and placed a hand upon a crystalline structure that pulsed with faint energy. "This is the heart of Vorest," he said. "It holds knowledge from before your species first lifted its eyes to the stars. It holds power that can restore worlds or shatter them." Lyra approached the structure, sensing warmth radiating from within. Her breath caught in her throat. This was what her commander had spoken of. This was the salvation or the doom of everything she knew. "Why show me this?" she asked. "Why trust a strange rock?" And studied her carefully. "In your eyes I see fear, yet I see something more. A will that refuses to cease. A spirit that bends but does not break. When worlds fall, such spirits are the difference between ending and beginning." Lyra felt tears burn at the corners of her eyes, though she refused to let them fall. She had lost too much already to allow grief to control her. Instead, she placed her hand on the crystalline surface, alongside Arkan's metal palm. "What must I do?" she asked. Arkan turned his gaze toward her. The heart can be awakened, but only by a union of two forces. The forge-burn strength of my kind and the living spirit of yours. Alone I cannot activate it. Alone you cannot survive its power. Together we may save both our worlds. Lyra swallowed hard. Are you saying our worlds are connected? Yes, Arkan replied. More than you know. The fall of your world triggers the fall of mine. The rise of one ensures the rise of the other. We exist in binding resonance. If one dies, the other will follow. A cold shock traveled through her. She had come seeking salvation for humanity, but had never imagined another species depended on the same hope. That what happens if we fail, she asked. Arkan's voice vibrated softly. Then everything ends. Lyra took a deep breath, centering herself. Then we will not fail. Arkan tilted his head, observing the determination that flared like fire in her eyes. There were ancient stories in the Iron Chorus, tales of beings made of flesh who carried within them a rare spark capable of igniting cosmic change. For centuries he believed those stories were myths. Yet now, standing beside this human, he felt something awaken within his core. Something unfamiliar. Something powerful. Hope. As the heart began to glow brighter, Arkan extended his hand fully toward Lyra. She took it without hesitation, her small fingers closing around metal shaped by centuries of fire. A positive fire. Moment that would alter the fate of two worlds had begun.